is now. I have to change this dress.
She want me.
You remember the cast: Brando, Burton, Ringo Starr, and that kaleidoscope of chaos they called a movie. But what you don't know is how close Candy came to collapsing under the weight of its own ambition. Behind the psychedelic visuals and star power were walkouts, on-set scandals, and actors who never even read the script. These are 15 weird, wild, and downright unbelievable facts about Candy, 1968. And stick around to the end, because the bonus fact, it's about the film's outrageous poster promise and how it delivered absolutely none of it. Number 1. Candy didn't begin as a movie, it began as a literary grenade. Written in 1958 by Terry Southern and Mason Hoffenberg, the original novel was a satirical reimagining of Voltaire's Candide, only this time through the eyes of a naive, over-sexualized teenage girl. Publishers called it pornographic. Several countries outright banned it, and even in the US, it faced legal challenges for obscenity. But while critics argued over its content, Hollywood saw something else: controversy. And in the late 1960s, controversy sold tickets, so they adapted it, with Brando, Burton, and a teenage unknown in the lead, hoping that sex, psychedelia, and celebrity would make people forget what the story was actually about. It didn't work, but it sure got people talking. Number 2. Screenwriter Buck Henry, fresh off The Graduate, was handed the job of adapting Candy on short notice. The deadline? 10 days. He delivered the script, but even he admitted it was rushed, calling the final film a psychedelic mess held together by music and confusion. The scenes were often disconnected, jokes were overwritten, and by the time filming began, actors were still trying to figure out what genre they were in. It wasn't polished, it wasn't cohesive, but somehow they shot it anyway. Number 3. She was Swedish. She was beautiful. She was unknown, and she was legally a minor. Ewa Aulin was only 17 when she was cast as Candy, but her role involved nudity, sexual innuendo, and mature themes, none of which she could legally film without court approval. The producers petitioned for her emancipation, allowing her to work adult hours and perform in adult scenes. It raised eyebrows then. It would raise lawsuits today. Number 4. Marlon Brando was paid $200,000 for a 2-day shoot. He played a mystical guru, delivered cryptic lines, wore flowing robes. Then he walked. After 2 days on set, Brando disappeared without warning. No goodbyes, no rap party, he just left. The crew scrambled to work around it, rewriting dialogue and patching the rest of the film without him. His performance was bizarre, his exit was abrupt, and his check cleared anyway. Number 5. Behind the scenes, filming wasn't just chaotic, it was emotionally damaging. Brando improvised much of his physical interaction with Aulin during their scenes together. Crew members later claimed she looked visibly shaken, and multiple accounts say she sought therapy after production ended. Aulin herself never publicly confirmed it, but the whispers stuck. And in a film already blurring the line between satire and exploitation, this fact became part of its uncomfortable legacy.
Legend of the Pig and the Flower is a very beautiful story told by my people in song and dance.
Number 6. Richard Burton was cast as a drunken poet. Unfortunately, he didn't have to act. Crew members later revealed that Burton drank heavily on set, often consuming vodka between takes, and showed up visibly intoxicated. He refused to memorize lines, instead choosing to slur and improvise, turning every scene into an unpredictable performance. The result? Genius to some, a mess to most, but undeniably Burton.
Oh no, this no good.
Number 7. The Beatles were bigger than Hollywood in 1968, which is probably how Ringo Starr ended up in Candy, playing a Mexican gardener named Emmanuel. Ringo had no formal acting experience. He was given no rehearsal, no real direction, and mostly wandered through scenes looking confused. Later, he admitted he didn't understand the script at all, and honestly, neither did most of the audience. But in a film built on absurdity, Ringo's confusion somehow fit perfectly. Hey, if this story's already weirder than you expected, just wait. If you're enjoying the ride so far, feel free to like the video and subscribe for more deep dives into cinema's strangest moments, because from here on out, the chaos only gets messier, and some of the most unbelievable facts are still coming. Number 8. Their names were printed side by side on the poster. 2 acting giants, 1 outrageous movie. But Marlon Brando and Richard Burton never shared a single scene. Their roles were filmed on different days, in different locations. Brando left before Burton arrived. They never rehearsed, never crossed paths. For a film sold on star power, it was smoke and mirrors. 2 legends, 1 billing, 0 interaction. Number 9. Italian censors didn't like candy. They especially didn't like the sex, the nudity, or the political undertones. So, when authorities started interfering, the crew came up with a plan. Smuggle the film reels out of Italy by shipping them to Paris. It was risky, it was illegal, and it saved the movie from being chopped to pieces. It also says everything about how wild this production really was.
What are we doing now?
Number 10. From top to bottom, the production was chaos. Actors were cast without knowing the full story. Scenes were handed out the day of shooting. Dialogue was improvised. Even major stars admitted they had no idea what the movie was about, even after it was finished. In a later interview, John Huston said, "I think I was in it. I hope I was paid." Number 11. Yes, that Douglas Trumbull, the VFX legend behind Close Encounters and 2001, was hired to design some of Candy's trippy transitions and psychedelic visuals. He used smoke, layered lenses, color filters, and light bursts to create a surreal, dreamlike tone. But Trumbull later admitted he was barely given direction, and most of what he built ended up being cut or re-edited by the studio. The result? Genius buried in chaos. Number 12. In one of the film's most surreal scenes, Candy stares into a mirror, and if you look closely, you'll spot a reflection of the director himself. Christian Marwand had planned a brief cameo, but instead of filming it properly, he simply stepped into the shot. Some call it an Easter egg, others say it was a mistake. Either way, it fits perfectly in a movie that often felt like a reflection of its own confusion.
Remember that scientifically speaking, the only difference between life and death is that death lasts a lot longer.
Number 13. Co-writer Terry Southern, famous for Dr. Strangelove and Easy Rider, originally pitched Candy as satire. Smart, sharp, and political. But by the time it hit theaters, he barely recognized it. He called the final cut soulless psychedelic trash and tried, unsuccessfully, to get his name removed from the credits. It was supposed to challenge the system. Instead, it became part of it. Number 14. When Candy was finally released, it triggered backlash almost instantly. Lawsuits, bans, editorial takedowns. In the US, screenings were delayed in several states. In Australia and parts of Europe, theaters were fined for showing it without warning. Religious groups called it immoral. Politicians called it garbage. And ticket sales skyrocketed. Because in 1968, there was no better marketing tool than being banned.
I'm sure that everything's going to turn out all right, but if it doesn't, easy come, easy go.
How can you say that?
Number 15. Candy was a flop in America. Critics shredded it. The audience didn't get the joke. But in France, Italy, and Germany, it found life. Audiences embraced the absurdity. College students quoted the nonsense, and midnight screenings turned it into an accidental counterculture staple. It may have failed to be a hit, but it succeeded in becoming a legend. Bonus fact: the marketing campaign for Candy was pure 1960s excess. The poster screamed everything you've ever wanted in a movie: sex, stars, psychedelia, satire, romance, rebellion. But when the film actually hit theaters, even fans of weird cinema admitted it didn't deliver on any of it. Critics called it unfocused, embarrassing, and a disaster only the late 60s could have made. In the end, the tagline became its own ironic legacy, a promise so big, no film could possibly fulfill it. Candy was supposed to be bold, subversive, unforgettable. Instead, it became a surreal time capsule filled with A-listers who never met, a script no one read, and a message lost somewhere between satire and scandal. If this gave you a new way to look at one of the strangest films of the 60s, we'd be glad to have you along for more. Feel free to like the video, and if there's a fact we missed, or a favorite Candy moment you still quote, drop it in the comments. Thanks for watching, and remember what this film really taught us. Sometimes, chaos isn't the side effect, it's the point.